This is appadvice.com at GDC 2017, checking out Euclidean Lands.
So this is the second one. It's always, the first chapter is like the tutorial, so you're just learning the mechanics. So for example here, you're supposed to swipe on the background to learn that you can rotate the entire world. And then there is like repetition of the mechanics, again tutorial. So again it's swipey thingy, there you go down, you get to the next one. And then this is their free times because it's like 3 directions in which you can slide just to get the player familiar. We can also skip those.
Okay. So it rotates kind of like a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah. And then there are enemies, so obviously he's guarding these tiles, so if you go there, it kills me. And you need to finish this amount of enemies before the portal unlocks.
Okay.
So I know I have to capture this guy, and you get it. And then there's like this small animated text throughout the game, and and so there are 3 guys here. So you look around to see how they are positioned. And then we unlock and this is now the last tutorial level. This was actually the first level that I ever designed, just with like cylinders and ugly cubes. So you see, like, this is blocked, and I wanted to get this guy, and most people, just usually do something, and it's already kind of difficult for them. But what you need to do is you reconfigure the world to clear the path.
Okay.
And you get the guy. And now it's the end of the first chapter, and after each chapter, there's like, oh, this is bad resolution, whatever. There's like this little rewards graphics, which marks the boss you've just defeated, because there are also bosses which revert the mechanic, so they are in control. We'll get to that. So this is, again, the start of the new chapter is always flat and introduces the major mechanic in the game. So here's the shield. So when you grab the shield, you can step on the tile and attack once, and then you lose the shield.
How many levels are in the game?
There are now 40 levels in 5 chapters, and these what you saw now are very, very simple ones, but there are like multiple cubes and transforming cubes and whatnot. We can also fast forward. Yeah. So let's go to the first boss fight. It's kind of nice. So it seems like an easy level, which you would solve like this. And then the cube grows into a bigger one, and the big guy comes, and he's guarding 3 tiles. So now you know he will come from this direction. And you end up here. And then the usual behavior is like, you can't really rotate anything, because if you read these texts, you'll learn that he's in control because he's more power or whatnot. So when you make a move, he makes a move, and that means he will rotate the world. And there's like a certain pattern that the player needs to figure out towards how he's rotating. And if we played all the levels before, we would learn that I need to grab the shield to attack him because he's guarding all 3 tiles.
Yeah.
So I go here, and he takes a rotation, and he puts me down. So I already know the pattern, so it's kind of easy for me to finish it, but it takes a while for the player to figure out how to. So now I grab the shield, he will turn me to the back,
So it's kind of trial and error to figure out how.
Yeah, it takes a bit to figure it out, but there's only like 1 master rule and 3 sub rules to it. So it's always like, which color are you standing on? Like the boss also colors in the same thingy. So when I'm standing here, he always puts me on top. When I'm standing here, I will always go down. And when I'm standing here, I will always go back on the blue one, So now I know I will go down, and I need to position the world so he goes down with me. So if I step here, we should go both down, right? And then I can attack him, and everything clears. So because it was tedious to finish all the other enemies, so
And then is this going to be a paid game?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like the other. There should be like chapter 3, whatnot, and then we go. Next one is again flat one, and this is the introduction of the teleports and the moving enemies. So if I approach him, I teleport, but he catches me, and I die. So I need to like step back, step forward, to create this window, attack him, and move to the next one. So this is now getting more and more complicated because, for example, here yeah, you need to catch these guys, but they actually they somehow keep running away from you. Yeah, I don't want to do this actually because I would teleport. No. Yeah, so you see, and this is what you need to do is like again reconfigure the world so you're standing next to him,
Okay.
and then you can catch him. Let's fast forward somewhere. Then yeah, here's like 3 cubes. This is actually a nice one because there's like also these massive movements introduced. So it was in previous level, but you learn that also the enemies can teleport. So for example, this is like in and this is out. So I cannot get from this cube to this one, but I can get him to come for me. So if you move, and this one should go down, so you have like clear space to play on that one. And the idea is you need to catch them like this, so they stop because they don't know where to go. They are facing each other, and then you can get them like this.
Okay.
And
when are you planning to launch?
I think it's quite soon, like 2 or 3 weeks maybe.
Okay, that close?
Yeah, it's because everything is finished now. There's just this like you see this first level bug and stuff like this that I know what's causing it, and I just need to go and fix it and test some more. And then there are like these hidden. I wanted to have more like rich story game, but in the end it was too much work somehow. So there's like just these fragments of a story throughout the game, like in Dark Souls game or something. So they are somehow hidden also inside the puzzles. So to read them you need to reconfigure and whatever. So it's more like probably most of the players don't even care about the text and they don't read them, but it's there if someone is really into the world. Oh, these are nice actually also. So this is like he's guarding the tile, and there's no shield anywhere for you to use, but you still know you need to get here, right? And when you try to use the other one, it doesn't really work. But the cubes are aligned differently, so if you do it like this, you suddenly get a pathway, right? And then what? This is probably the toughest level, because this is the boss of the moving guys. And yeah, and there is he's always using the same pattern actually as the other guy, otherwise it will be too complicated. But what's more here is like this is a cross pattern, so it's not a cube anymore, and you need to kind of think slightly different. So if I go here, I'm on top, I will go down. So let's say, you see, the transformation is like, so you have not only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes to think in, but 6 times 4 or whatever little worlds. And what you need to do is, I'm not sure if I will manage it, is to get to this teleport, which teleports you on the same plane as the bosses, and then you get the boss. Then this is the new mechanic. Again, this is the start of the next chapter. So when you move, the tile gets blocked, right? And you cannot go back.
Okay.
And you can use this to your advantage to block the enemies, but it's also kind of, it can get difficult if you block your own path. And for example, what's nice is you can also use the spikes to actually finish the enemies. So this would probably not work. I think I need to take one more step. So if they collide with the spike, they explode.
Okay.
So this is not in so many levels, because then it's kind of like way too easy to do it, but it's more like this nice play that you get this physical feeling of the world. And then this is a nice one, although it's easy. So because the path is blocking your way, when I step here, and logically most of the players would want to step to the next tile, but actually when you do, you block your bridge. So you need to reconfigure the world again, and only then step away. So
I think that's good.
Yeah, it's nice. But this is actually the nicest mechanic is in the end. In my opinion, this is the best chapter ever, because this is the one that forces you to play how I wanted the players to play from the beginning. So you have the turn limit. So now I have 6 turns to get these 2 guys. I mean, yeah, and this is a tutorial level. So he will step on the trap, right, and kill the other guy. Yeah, and then I will step on the trap and kill him and go to the next level. This was kind of easy, but let's go, for example, here. Here you have only 2 moves to finish it and get to the level. So if I would chase him normal, I just die. So you need to do like position him in front of the trap and yourself next to it. So you get him in one turn, and in the other you exit the level. So you really cannot just walk randomly around the cube looking for a solution, but you need to have a precise strategy of how you're approaching the level. And there are, like here, you know, it's again happening on both planes, and you have only 5 turns for 6 enemies, so sometimes you need to configure it so the enemy steps on the trap and kills other enemy while you kill another one, so you kill multiple guys in one turn.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what's there mechanic wise, and then there's just like, you know, graduation, repetition, and
Okay. Sounds good.